all know that John is a member of the Rotary Club of Chattanooga and a past district governor and a past RI director. He's a past trustee and vice president of the foundation, and he's well known for leading our Rotary effort in the Gates Challenge, where we were challenged to raise $200 million for polio eradication. He raised $238 million. What you may not know is that John, like me, had a family member that was stricken by polio, and this is a cause very, very dear to his heart. I've seen the emotion that it's evoked from John as he describes putting those 2 precious drops in the mouths of children in India. But what you also may not know is John is a very good and compassionate man. And he loves his family, his children, his grandchildren, and his wife, Judy. He loves her. And you know, Judy travels with him everywhere throughout the world. She truly is his Rotary companion. And Judy is an honorary member of the Rotary Club at Chattanooga Hamilton Place. John will be our president next year, and I'm happy to say that John is bringing innovation and fresh ideas to Rotary, and he's taking us farther into the 21st century. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor to introduce to you Rotary International President-elect John Germ.
You guys having fun yet? I can't hear you back in the back. Are you having fun yet? Okay. Now let's try this side. Are you having fun yet? Uh-oh. That side wins. So it's going to cost you $530. Gosh, it's great to be home. And I really do look at this at home because, you know, Judy and I have had the opportunity, thanks to you, to travel throughout the world representing Rotary and you and all the work that you've done and what we're trying to do for the next few years. You know, I don't know if you've heard the story yet about how that we came up with these tennis shoes. And I do have a pair. They're not with me, but they are in my closet at home, and I will take them to the convention, and we're doing a 3-mile walk for polio, so we will wear those tennis shoes, and also have a pair of new khaki pants. And the new khaki pants has the new Rotary logo on them, so I guess I'll wear those too. You see, we do crazy things for Rotary, don't we? And we have fun in Rotary. How many of you remember a few years ago when, I guess it was Ron Burton, that came up that said we were going to have the first class? Anybody remember the first class? And they challenged everybody to give money to the Rotary Foundation so that all the DGEs would have be the first class that gave money to the Rotary Foundation. Well, then we came along and we had, what was the next class? The best class. How many of you the best class? Well, there's none of them still here. So I'm not sure what happened to the best class. I guess it went somewhere. And then all of a sudden Ravi comes up and he says we're going to have world class. Now, we've got a few world class governors in here, at least 2 ladies back here. So what did that leave me to do? Well, somebody said we ought to be the diamond class. Somebody said we should be the Cadillac class. I just said, Judy and I talked about it, we just said we're going to be no class. So now we are the no class. Well, that don't go over well, does it? It may be true, but it don't go over well. So we said, you know, let's think about this a little bit. Let's really put down some thoughts and think about what should we call our class. So I want to ask all of the president-elects, your spouses and your partners to please stand. Now, hell, I know you're in here. Can you understand the instructions? Now, each of you was selected by your club to be the leaders in that club. So you are the star of that local Rotary club. You're the individuals that make a difference in Rotary. And you're the individuals that's going to lead us to the great success in 2016-17. Now, you can sit down. Now, I want the governor-elects to stand up. See, they started something. They just don't know where this is going yet. Now, you see why that you're the stars? I've got to depend on these guys. But on the other hand, y'all stand up too, because you're the ones that's making this happen. Come on, honey, stand up. Spouses and partners, stand up. Let me tell you, they were selected by the clubs in their districts to be the stars of their districts. So we are the all-star team. So we're going to be the all-star team. And if you look at the red tennis shoes, my shoes are red, so theirs is red. If you look at the tennis shoes, you'll see on the very back of them it says All-Stars. So that is the official uniform. So if any of these district governors-elects after July 1 come to your club and they don't have on those shoes, it's $100. Now, okay, now y'all sit down, and there's a few of you already owe me $100. So you see, I had to pay $265, so guess what? All right. You know, you got to have a little fun in Rotary. You got to enjoy what you're doing and be excited about it at the same time. It doesn't depend on Karen Wentz. It doesn't depend on Greg Yank. It doesn't depend on Mike McGovern. It depends on you. We can only do so much from Rotary International. You are the ones that will make a difference. You're the ones, as I said earlier, that's going to change the way Rotary thinks and what Rotary does. We are not the same organization that we were 111 years ago. 111 years ago, one individual had an idea. I've already made him mad. He's leaving. 111 years ago, one individual had an idea. The idea for fellowship. The idea for service. His name was Paul Harris, as we all know. Do you think Paul Harris knew anything about social media? He couldn't even spell it, let alone know what it is. Michelangelo got up here today, I'm sure, and walked all the way up and down through here, and he talked about social media. He talked about Facebook. I hope you did. He talked about Facebook. He talked about Twitter. He talked about all these different technologies that we've got to now that we're not using. And if we're going to expand Rotary, and if we're going to get more young people into Rotary, then we've got to understand, what do they want out of Rotary? It's not what I want. It's not what the board wants or the trustees wants. It's what do they want out of Rotary. So can we answer the question, What's in it for me? Can we turn around and say to our organization that we need to be more flexible? We need to go out there and let the clubs start making rules about their attendance requirements. You know, we still say that we have to count and keep up with attendance at club meetings. That's not important to me. We have people that want to be 100% attendance, and that's great. That's what they want. But what's important to me is the community work. What can we do out there in the community? What can we do to keep a young woman from walking down a dirty trail with a jar on her head, going to a filthy stream, getting water out of this stream where the cows are drinking and whatever else they're doing in the stream, where people are washing clothes in that same stream, where kids are swimming in that same stream, and where she takes that water and goes to her house, and that's what they have to drink. We can do something about that. We can do something about that if we want to. It's all up here. It's all up here. If we want to stop that, we can do it. Look at your table. Pick up that clean glass of water. Pick it up. That is more water than some people, clean water, than people have in 2 or 3 days. Now I want you to shut your eyes, and I want you to silently count to 8. Another child just died. Another child just died because we as Rotarians didn't get there quick enough to do something about it. We can do that. We can do that if we want to. We can, and we should, and we will. Think about the young girl in India or in Nigeria that right now only goes to school 3 weeks out of a month. And who is the best teacher of young children? It's the mother. But if the mother is not educated, how can we expect the child to be educated? You see, we can do something about that if we want to. We can build the toilet blocks through the Rotary Foundation. We can have it set so that they have clean hand-washing facilities. Judy and I had the opportunity in India a few months ago to go to a program called WASH, Water and Sanitation. We saw little schoolgirls, kindergarten, first graders. They learned a song. I'm not a singer, don't intend to be, so I'm not going to sing it to you, but it went something like, washy, 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 wishy, 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 washy, washy, washy. And they came out and they did their little dance. But it was also they could learn how to wash their hands, to learn how to use soap so they would have hygiene. And yes, they now go to school because Rotary was there to provide those toilet blocks for them. We can do that. Just like we're going to finish the job of the eradication of polio. And I know that Mike talked to you at noon today, and let me just say that Mike is doing a fantastic job as the chairman of the International Polio Plus Committee, and he is traveling and doing a fantastic job. And Mike, thank you very much for what you're doing. Whoever thought that when Sir Clem Renoff asked the question after having read in Time magazine about smallpox being eradicated, is there something of this magnitude that Rotary could do? One individual, one man had an idea. The idea that we could eradicate polio from the face of the earth. And I know that Mike told you today that we're now down to 7 cases, 2 countries, Pakistan with 6, Afghanistan with 1. But you know why that we're down to 7? Because you, as Rotarians, individually became involved with contributions, and many of you have been on NIDs. So you've seen that smile on that mother's face as you've put those 2 drops in their mouth. And you didn't speak her language, and she didn't speak your language, but she smiled at you. She smiled because you gave 2 drops. 2 drops that saved a child from being crippled or dying from polio. We can finish this job. We will finish the job, and I firmly believe that we will have our last case in 2016. Thanks to each and every one of you. It can happen if you can imagine it. Think about 1917. Think about a man that stood on the stage in Atlanta, Georgia, and he said, "We need to create an endowment for doing good in the world." Arch Clump, the 6th president of Rotary International. We need to create an endowment for doing good in the world. From Kansas City, there came a contribution of $26.50 to the Rotary Foundation. That foundation, your foundation, my foundation, our charity of choice, has now done over $3 billion of humanitarian work throughout the world, not including what we've done for polio, thanks to you, because remember, serving humanity is the best work of life. You've got challenges this coming year. You've got challenges, and we've all got challenges. We talk about we don't have enough female members. We say we don't have enough African American members. We don't have enough Hispanic members. Let me ask you a question. Each of you was given a golden opportunity. That opportunity is not just to serve as president or district governor, or that opportunity was given to you when someone said, "I think you're an individual with high ethical standards. I think you're an individual that meets our classification principle. I think you're an individual that lives by the 4-way test. And I think you're an individual that would make a great Rotarian." That was the opportunity. That was the opportunity. What have we done with that opportunity? Have we taken that same opportunity and extended that hand of friendship to other people? Have we? Only 25% of Rotarians in the world have ever invited someone else to become a Rotarian. Why are we so selfish? Are we afraid that there's going to be somebody come in that we don't necessarily like? No. We're afraid of rejection. And we've got to get away from that. How many of you remember a cartoon called Pogo? Now, some of you are older as I am, so you remember that. Pogo one time looked in the mirror and he said, "We have met the enemy, and it is us." So now then, I'm going to ask you the question. If we don't have enough female members, whose fault is it? I would suggest that everybody greatly move away from him because you're about to be hit with chocolate pie or cake or something. And Woody, I'd cover up my head too if I was you. If we don't have enough Afro-Americans, whose fault is it? If we don't have enough Hispanics, whose fault is it? Who can solve this problem? Who's going to solve this problem? You're darn right we are. We have got to become more flexible. We've got to look outside that box. People are not going to pay $1,000 a year to become Rotarians. It's not the international dues. It's not the district dues. It's not your club dues. It's the meals. Who says we have to meet every week? I can tell you a club right now in Manila. It's called Manila 101. It was started with 26 women. Those 26 women decided that they were going to put everybody on a committee. They assigned them to committees on the 6 areas of focus. They meet once a month. Once a month. The other weeks, they meet by committee. They do community projects. They do bike rides. They do motorcycle safety. They get the mayors involved. They got the Department of Agriculture, the Secretary of Agriculture involved. That club is now extended, 6 clubs, 52 members. So is it important that they meet every week? No, because they're doing community work. How about the club in Germany? The club in Germany that right now, they meet every other week. They meet every other week in person, every other week by internet. Why aren't we using social media? Why aren't we taking advantage of that? Why aren't we having meetings at 5:30 or 6 o'clock at night where both the spouse and the member or both of them may be members? Why aren't we involving Interact to get the interactors to come to babysit so that we can have family meetings? We can do it. I met a young girl the other night in Hendersonville, Tennessee. She got involved with RILA. She got excited about Rotary. She's 23 years old, and she's a Rotarian. Gosh, would we have ever thought about that? No, because it's thinking out of the box, and we've got to do that. We've got to be more flexible in our organization. Do you know that a Rotaractor cannot be a member of Rotary? Why? Because the bylaws that were written 50 years ago say so. And because some parts of the Rotary world think you have to be 40 before you can be a Rotarian. Stupid. Stupid. We got to do something about that. There's an area of our world that when I was on the board had 72,000 Rotarians. They had a director every year from this particular area because there were 2 zones. They're down to about 52 to 55,000 right now, and they're dying. The average age in that geographical area of the world is of the Rotarians is 74. 74. And they say, we don't know what's wrong. Hell, we got one foot on banana peel and the other in the grave, there's a lot wrong. And that's what's going to happen to us if we don't open up our eyes and start attracting members. It's not about numbers. I'm not a numbers guy. I think it's about more willing hands, more caring hearts, and more inquisitive minds. Think about the one individual that started Rotary. Think about the one individual that came up with the idea of a foundation. And think about the one individual that came up with the idea of the eradication of polio. What's your idea? What's your idea that we can do in Rotary that can move us forward? Move us into the next 111 years. Not doing the same thing we've always done. Because if you do the same thing you've always done, you're going to get the same result we've always got. You see, I believe that we're limited by two things. One is our imagination, or the second is our lack of imagination. Former chaplain, go ahead. A former chaplain of the United States Senate once said, "I am only one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And that what I can do, I ought to do. But what I ought to do, by the grace of God, I will do." The decision on where we go in 2016-17 is not up to the trustees or the board of directors. It's not up to me. It's up to each and every one of you as to what you want to do in your community, so that when you leave your year, will your club be stronger? Will your members be more engaged? Will your community be better off because Rotary was there? Thank you very much, and God bless you.